The loser bracket continues in the third qualifier for the Banshee Cup, and we are once again on Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left, we got the Space Goofs, aka Le Zinzins de la Space. So yeah, cartoon series apparently in French in the 90s or something. So Google Translate puts the Space Goofs into the driver's seat, and the name was actually approved by Masquerade. So it has to be, you know, like, it definitely, it's more than enough. They're going up against the Bobby Kotick fan club, and this should be a pretty interesting one. Let's see what happens here. Tomb of Spider Queen, also in the best of 3 series as our starting map, me likey. We are in the third qualifier for the Banshee Cup. In total, we have 6 qualifiers. Teams, as they progress from one round to another, pick up points. Those points get added up through from one qualifier to the next, and after all 6 qualifiers, we're looking at the leaderboard, and the top teams make it into the playoffs, where they are playing for $2,500 of prize money, all powered and sponsored by Kevin, aka Psychiv, the owner of the Lansdowne Miami, that has now been hosting multiple Heroes of the Storm tournaments and is essentially the Heroes of the Storm sugar daddy, helping to keep the competitive scene alive here. The ban on Zarya makes obviously sense. Again, we have Ixia on the other side, and Ixia is currently not only known for Zarya, but also known to sometimes bust out Probius. So they have a pretty flexible lineup. Nagrom, he's been playing a lot of damage for them, but he can always jump into a support role. He can jump into a main tank role, which is more something that he's used to. But he's been pretty flexible with which role he plays. I mean, again, one of the big tournaments that he played was, of course, the offline event in Miami, where he played support. He subbed in late, and he did a fantastic job there. But he's more so a main tank, but also dishing out tons of damage with the damage role here. We have Malganir again with Diablo. He's been playing mainly tank for them, but Nagrom has taken over once or twice. So they are super flexible in their draft, where essentially they can adjust a little bit to the opponent if really needed, and then swap some of the roles around. First picks now for the Space Goofs. So let's say what they are going to grab. We got Blaze on the side lane. This being game number 1. Again, when it comes to drafting rules, we have only one draft rule for the tournament, and that is that you can only draft the hero once within the series. It's pretty much a Meta Madness light rule. The only goal is so that you don't see the same hero every single game on every single map. But there's no pre-bans. There's nothing crazy. This is not meant to push people to the extent where they all of a sudden have to play Butcher and stuff like that. It's just so that it doesn't get too boring with the draft. We get Hanzo. And on Tomb, that obviously makes perfect sense. Personally, I would have expected in some of the series also to get maybe a quick Junkrat. Ixia on Ana, okay. Yeah, let's see how that's gonna go for them. A good Ana is annoying as hell. I was hoping that maybe Ixia gives us the probe here. Ever since I've seen it the first time played by him on Tomb of the Spider Queen, I always hope that we get it the same way that when Svamgrota plays. I hope that he busts out his Murky, which was so annoying at times way back when, that teams banned Murky against Svamgrota, which is just ridiculous. So, yeah. But okay, we now have Leoric as our side laner, so it's going to be Leoric against Blaze. And yeah, of course, now our final bans. Mephisto is being eliminated. And what does the fan club ban out? This should be a cool series. I'm really looking forward to this. So the Space Goofs, this is their first qualifier. Still trying to get some points in. And by now, I would say we've seen most teams. Again, teams don't have to participate in every single qualifier, but you can sit 1 or 2 out. Of course, you just want to get as much points as possible. The more successful that you are, the more your chances of just like sitting 1 out. Then at the same time, you want to have a proper standing also in the leaderboard. So that's actually quite important, since you're running a gauntlet essentially. So the higher up you are, the better. So if you can participate in every single qualifier, you definitely should. But if you miss out on one because some of your players have other obligations, then it's always possible to do that. It's a pretty flexible format, and actually one of the reasons why we are running this format in the first place. So we are actually organizing the entire thing here, just in case the people weren't aware of it. So yeah, and that's one of the reasons why this format is being chosen, because it is very flexible and allows the teams to adapt to their own situations. Yeah, of course, you can also play with a sub if just one of your players can't make it on a specific weekend, which teams have done and we've talked about. We get Falstad and we have Gul'dan. So Gul'dan, Falstad for damage and wave clear for the fan club in game number 1 of this best of 3 series. And now over on the left, Yasu is our final pick for the Space Goofs. So, what's going to be? We already have Tyrael and Hanzo. It's Kerrigan, okay. Yasu with Kerrigan. Alright, I'm intrigued. Let's go. First map in our best of 3 series here in the losers bracket. Without further ado, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game on! We are on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It is map number 1 in this best of 3 series. And on the left, the Space Goofs with Play on Tyrael, Dobby on Kerrigan, looking for Harry Potter and a few socks again. X-Ray, he's rocking Rhaegar. We got Yasu on Hanzo, and Meneldur, the love child of Mene and Khaldor, is playing Blaze on the side lane. We can expect great things from him. I mean, with that parentage, whew. On the right side, Virtual for the fan club with Leoric. We got Nagrom on Gul'dan this time, so back on damage with Jean Lassalle on Falstad. We got Malganir on Diablo, and Ixia is playing Ana. Alright, let's go. Immediately a quick stun coming out as the jet propulsion is connecting hard. For Diablo, oh, careful, Play, yeah, good stun once again, but who's getting the damage here? It's Tyrael who is the most in trouble. He had to jump out very quickly, or that would have been the end of it. Grenade build for Ana, Kerrigan is already moving back up to the top, and they're putting pressure onto Nagrom with the rotation. This is obviously in the early game on Tomb of the Spider Queen always the big thing. You are trying to take control of the rotational play, and it seems like the fan club is successful. They're dodging the final Kerrigan combo that is being thrown out here as Hanzo falls, and they were trying to go for a counter kill. So yep, job well done. That's now 1 kill, 2-0, and an advantage in the mid-top rotation for the red team. So far so good. The fan club, they want to go all the way this time. Can they pull that off? That's the one thing that we still have to figure out here, but at least early on they're doing a solid job. We got Jean Lassalle down at the bottom of the map with a Falstad, so he's going to try and take the Siege Giants for the team. I guess eventually this should be sniffed out. We'll see if they actually figure it out in time to do anything about it. Over on the left, Malganir even double-checking if the Bruiser camp is already being taken, but Play is stopping by very quickly, so even if they would have committed to it, reinforcements would have been ready in order to deal with that. With level 1 Echoed Corruption for Gul'dan, they're already trying to get him his stacks. Obviously, you want to be done by the time that you hit 16, so you get the full synergy right away with Ruinous Affliction. But the bird is getting murdered. Damn, they want some chicken and they get it. So bye-bye birdie, as Falstad is getting dropped within seconds. Each team now with a kill and level 4 talents kicking in for them as we are heading towards the first turn-in opportunity. We have 30 gems for each team, so they're getting a little bit closer to a possible web weaver here. And Virtual with 15 gems and Diablo down here. They gotta be a bit careful. One tower has already been taken down. But yep, that slight rotation down to the bottom of the map to push the wall with 4 has definitely worked out for them. And kind of caught the red team, oh sorry, the blue team, no, the red team, a little bit off guard. So, quick move back into the middle as Blaze is stabilizing down at the bottom of the map. And, well, let's see how far they can go with this. Rotation towards the top is starting to push Tyrael around slightly. And of course, in the meantime, we're having also Kerrigan pushed back out. But the teams are getting closer and closer to their first turn-in now. When it comes to gems, I'd say the red team has a slight advantage. They not only have turned in a few of their gems already, but also they have a few more available to them just now. And things continue in the middle with more pressure against Malganir, who's now stacking up on souls from Diablo. They're sitting at 66. Bot lane, that's where Virtual is starting to lose the entire wall here. Obviously there was a big push coming earlier that made it a lot easier for the team. But these little skirmishes in the middle are also still happening. 13 stacks. Oh, Falstad flying in a little bit deep, trying to go for Kerrigan here. Jean Lassalle together with Nagrom was aiming for a kill. Instead, the combo against the bird, but he dodges out on it. Could have been a bit difficult, I suppose, but nope, they're still fine. So yeah, with that, it's X-Ray that becomes the target, and Rhaegar gets saved! Saved by Kerrigan, and it turns into a kill against the bird. Falstad is gone, nicely done. Virtual still a bit low. Yasu wants the kill. Oh, I nearly got it. That's 24 gems. Somebody had to move in order to pick those gems up if Leoric fell, which didn't happen. So yeah, good for them. But the turn-ins are now coming together. Play is turning in again for the blue team, and that nearly gets them to the first Web Weaver wave. They're only 4 gems away from it. Dobby is trying to make it happen, and there it is. The Space Goofs with turn-in number 1 in the first map of this best of 3 series. Diablo, though, catches for Hanzo, and that's a quick kill. Ixia with a fantastic sleep dart. If that sleep dart does not connect, the kill doesn't happen. And this is, of course, the dream. Your opponent gets a turn in, you pick up a kill, maybe even 2. Can they get more? No, but even 1 kill is already great. That makes it so much easier to defend, which is essentially what they're now trying to do here. Defend against the Web Weavers as best they can. Make sure that no fort falls. If you only lose a few towers and gates, then that's always nice. X-Ray also getting out of the fight. Tyrael helping him out in this case. Down at the bottom of the map, on the other hand, Virtual gets attacked, and careful. Alright, dodging out on the stun. Just imagine that hitting for a second, and all of a sudden we're talking... Oh no! They're flanking in! And they get Leo after all. That's a lot of gems gone. Is that... what was that? 29 gems? They're losing all of them, and they're losing the bottom fort. So what started off as a real nice defense because of the kill against Hanzo that they got is now turning it into an utter disaster. They're losing the fort, and they're losing everyone here. Kerrigan on a rampage. 3 heroes down. Leo is back, but boy, have they just lost ground here. They're losing Leoric again too. The only survivor is Diablo. And that is just an utter nightmare. So yeah, that didn't go well for them whatsoever. Level 10 is now on the board, but they got absolutely wrecked over here. Huge fight, and Kerrigan just crushing them. 7 kills to 2, 1.5 level lead. Bloodlust is in. And with all the gems lost coming back into this, won't be easy. Definitely not impossible, but they gotta buckle up now, or it's going to be a total nightmare here. 1 fort lost. Again, it could have been worse. They could have lost more structures, but losing all of those gems is a massive, massive setback. Yasu now with the camp down at the bottom of the map. We're getting also another attack over on the left side where Kerrigan, with the help of X-Ray, is going for the Bruiser camp, and the red team is just trying to stabilize. They have level 10, which is what they're waiting for, and now they can try and get their own first turn in. But of course, the blue team is also getting much, much closer to turn in number 2. A nice wall stun again against Play. Maybe not enough to get them an actual kill. Hanzo also YOLO'd the arrow out to ensure that there was at least some additional resistance and cover. So they got that too. But they are still hoping for another combo here. And these Kerrigan combos with follow-ups from Blaze with the jet propulsion are obviously insanely dangerous. We've seen this in other tournaments and other matches as well. If you execute that properly, you can just lock a target down all day, every day, which is exactly what they're trying to do here with that combo. So for now, we have 7 kills to 2 and a second Web Weaver wave for the blue team. The red team, despite trying, was just not able to turn all of their gems in time. 20,000 damage from Gul'dan, and on the other side 28k from Hanzo alone. So Web Weavers once again on the map. They're trying to go for Malganir. Here comes Bloodlust. They want him. They want Dibbles. There's the Sanctification. They want to take him down. He has 25 gems and they're losing all of them. The Horrify is there. Nice Entomb follow-up, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to be enough. X-Ray is low and goes down. For a second, I was about to suggest that he should use the Ancestral. And then I realized, oh, wait a second, he has Bloodlust. It helped them to get a kill. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I still think the trade was absolutely worth it. Yes, they lost Rhaegar and some of their momentum here as they were hoping to push for structures. But removing 25 gems from your opponent is always big. And that's exactly what they were able to do. They're also still doing damage up at the top. So they have level 13 now. They nearly destroyed the top side fort. It will fall whenever they're making a play for it. And that's just big. Add in that they are now killing the fort in the middle of the map and they remove the gems from the red team, and you have an absolute winner for the Space Goofs. So they're going to be very happy with the situation that they find themselves in right now. They have 5 kills ahead. They have the talent advantage. Got to play around Chrysalis now. Once again, moving in. Gust already being utilized here as they're trying to chase Ix here. He's low and Ana goes down. They wanted to follow this up with a second kill, but they couldn't quite catch Gul'dan here. They still have a chance to go for Malganir, and they lock him down once again, and Malganir dies. Space Goofs on their way to a potential victory. They're getting all the damage in. They have barely lost any heroes in the last couple of minutes. They go for the boss up at the top. Could, of course, eliminate that fort whenever they want to. But, yep, this is looking fantastic for the blue team. They have so much momentum right now. They're really playing this well. When you're ahead, you're always trying to boost that lead a little bit more to just extend it and make sure that your opponent doesn't get a chance to get back into the game. And this is exactly what they're currently trying to accomplish here, as they are aiming for not only a topside push with the boss, but also to prevent the red team from turning in. Because technically, there's still enough gems for the team in red to make their move. But they're prevented from moving into the center of the map to get that turn in, and they have to eventually also deal with the boss at the top side. This might be still early in the game, so it's not like this one is going to do all that much damage, but you can't just let it sit alone on that map or it's going to damage your keep regardless. Another little attack down at the bottom of the map, more space created, and you can tell it from the minimap too. The entire map right now essentially belongs to the blue team. They're controlling all of it. They're controlling vision, they have full control over the turn-in points, and they're even stealing or trying to steal the opponent's camp away now. So yeah, this is looking absolutely fantastic. Camp is stolen. Malganir for a second, and Leo were thinking about doing something about it, but here comes Bloodlust and Sanctification. Beautiful combo that works well for him. Nano boosted Diablo with a big lightning breath, but not big enough to give them a kill. Leo is already gone. Diablo barely making it out. And here comes level 16 any second now for the blue team, as they are just looking better and better. And they're still not done going for Diablo. The arrow hitting the back line. They're trying to get the kill against Dibbles as Leo is respawning. Another 5 versus 5, but level 16 talents are now on the horizon, and they're starting to make their way back in. Diablo pushing past the holy ground. Malganir is trying to force that fight once more, but it's just not happening. The red team desperate to force some action and get some kills, but it's just not coming together for them. They're missing out on that momentum, and of course the turn is not going to happen while level 16 is there for their opponents. So yes, it is definitely a tough call for the Bobby Kotick fan club. The Space Goofs are looking very, very strong here. There's 29 gems in the hands of the red team, but can they get that Red Weaver wave? It would be their first one, honestly. So let's see if they can pull it off, but currently it's the show of the blue team. They're firmly in the driver's seat. They're setting the agenda and make all the big moves and decide when exactly these fights are taking place. Nano boosted Diablo, by the way, can be insanely scary. If you have Lightning Breath up and you get all of your abilities out, it is pretty ridiculous. So not only meme, but actually very scary in choke point scenarios. Here's the Horrifiers. They're trying to go for Carrigan. Carrigan, keep in mind, there's no Ancestral. They got to be careful with this. Carrigan, they're moving in again. There's the ult from Tyrael as they're moving for Malganir once more. And this time he goes down. He had his souls ready. They go for Leo as a follow-up. They want another kill before Diablo's back to business, and they get it. Leoric is gone, and that's a play for the middle keep as they are trying to boost this even further. Hanzo is just picking up damage by the second. 65,000 for him right now. Gul'dan at 45k, but he goes down as he becomes the target once more. Malganir without the souls is now definitely a bit of a weak kitten here, but he's still able to get out as Ixia is going for the pew 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 with Ana and hits one dart after another. The keep, then again, they won't be able to save it. This is the first keep gone. 13 minutes into the game. Solid performance from the Space Goof. I really like it, and you can tell that these guys obviously have a lot of experience here. We haven't seen some of those players in the official tournaments for some time now. Official tournaments in the sense that the tournaments are hosted by us. I mean, normally you would say Blizzard would be official tournaments. But let's just be honest here. If anybody is keeping Heroes Esports alive, it's us these days. So yeah, this is an official tournament. Officially declared. 14 kills to 3. 72 stacks for the birdie. So yeah, Fawcett is also getting some decent numbers out. Has actually gone into the Crippling Hammer. We have Runa's Affliction. And the synergy is there with a fully completed quest hunt. And oi, 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 that bunker timing. Menaldor, I cannot believe that he survived that. Menaldor is alive. Leo still wants to go for it, but instead Menaldor turns it around, gets the stun connected, and that means another 15 gems are lost. Here come the Web Weavers. This is crazy. What a good series by them. Keep in mind how well some of those games of the Bobby Kotick fan club previously were, how well played they were. They did such a good job taking opponents down, and now that puts the performance of the Space Goofs really into context here on this first map. 15 kills to 3, and what a dominant performance. They go for Ixir, take him down 2, Ana is gone, Falstad gets murdered, now they go for Diablo again, and this is obviously where things are just falling apart for the red team. They're losing map number 1. Top side, the Web Weavers are gonna go for the next keep and take it down, but the core will fall 100%. It's a 5-man team wipe as the entire Bobby Kotick fan club is wiped out, and with 20 kills to 3, game number 1 goes to the blue team. The W on Tomb of the Spider Queen for the Space Goofs as they take the lead in this best of 3 series in the losers bracket. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Sky Temple, game number 2. Not a map that we see all that often, but here it is. So our second map, the Space Goofs, going up against the Bobby Kotick fan club. And the red team struggling a bit here. They have first pick, first ban, meaning that the blue team has decided on the map. So they wanted to go into Sky Temple. And, well, let's see if the fan club can shrug this off. It was just like, alright, game just went away from us. We just couldn't get into it. We couldn't break the momentum that they had. Now on the second map, we're gonna turn it around. We'll see if they can do that. We have Genji coming in. So Sky Temple with Genji getting banned right away. We get Sylvanas also banned out. I joked about this before, but I really feel we have to introduce a rule for the playoffs that Sylvanas can't be banned. It is the Banshee Cup. I think at this point they're just banning Sylvanas to just like screw with us a bit on this one. But yeah, Brightwing comes in. Or gets banned, more so. No love for the Fruit Fly, and I'm here for it. Ban out all them Fruit Flies. And what are we getting as our final ban? Do they still deal with Zarya and ban her out? Make sure that Ixir doesn't lock that in? No. So you could technically go for some kind of Zarya Garrosh comp, which is definitely one of the go-to builds for the fan club. So, yeah. But we get the Haka as our first pick, and that makes the entire Zarya and... Actually, does it make it less likely? I don't even know. Not necessarily, no. But the Haka is definitely a good hero to have on Sky Temple. Global pressure on this map is always nice. And we'll see how exactly the Space Goofs are starting things off with. What's going to be their approach here? Well, for now, we're getting Maiev and we're getting Hogga. Well, not bad. Maiev already guaranteeing a pretty aggressive game. Then you get Hogga on top of that. I'm still looking to see if we are going to get that Zarya combo. There's a reason why Ixir Zarya is getting banned multiple times. And as I mentioned before, it's one of their go-to builds. So if they want to be right in their comfort zone, this is one of the approaches that they could definitely go for here. But they go in Uberak for Malganir. And what's going to be the follow-up from them? They go Anduin. We get the Crybaby. It's been a while. Anduin has not been played all that much in this particular qualifier right now. So, yeah. Still insanely strong, obviously, specifically after level 16, but even before that. Won't stop me making fun of him, but still insanely powerful character. It's still mind-blowing to me that he had a level 20 and they just said like, yeah, this is fine as a level 16 talent. I was like, yeah, what? Team? But yeah. So, Sergeant Hammer gets banned out. No hammer time over here. And what do they ban against Yasuo now? Last game, keep in mind, so they played one time with Kerrigan, now they're playing with Maiev. This is pretty much the two heroes, the two assassins that always try to force fights the most. And something that they've done time and time again. We have a ban against Malfurion, so they're heavily targeting supports right now. Okay. Bit unexpected. You could still go Stukov. Maiev can easily tether some targets into a Stukov Lurking Arm. If anything, I would have been more afraid of that than I would have been of Malfurion, I suppose. Malfurion obviously also fantastic when it just comes to general control here. We got Kharazim and we get Mirrodin. I think I remember that a few times Medivh was banned against the fan club. Wasn't that a thing yesterday? Am I crazy? Because if you are banning Malfurion, that's usually something that I'm also associate with somebody, you know, trying to maybe play Medivh and then have portal control. But I don't think we're going to get that here. We need follow-up against Mirrodin, against Anubarak, though. Once that you have that stun engage coming, Jaina, always good burst damage, always nice, and we get Tracer. Yeah, Nagrom has been playing Tracer a lot for them, and he's been super annoying. So I think this might become more of a problem for the Space Goofs now. They got Kharazim though, our last pick. Some range damage would probably do well for them. Would go a long way. They need something here. They have a really nice front line with Mirrodin Stormbolt, 7-sided strike follow-ups, but yes, Yasuo needs to supply some range damage for the team, and he comes in with Tigers. Okay, so game number 2, we are on Sky Temple. Let's see what the Space Goofs can do. Is the fan club going to force the third game of the series, or will they drop now out of the tournament, out of the third qualifier? Well, we'll find out. Game number 2, the Space Goofs in the lead, in blue on the left with Play on Mirrodin. We got Dobby on Maiev. Yasuo is playing Tychus in our second game of the series. We got X-Ray on Kharazim and Meneldor on Hoggar. On the right side of the map, the Bobby Cottage fan club with Jean Lassalle on Jaina. We got Virtual on Dehaka, Ixia on Anduin, Malganir is playing Anubarak, and Nagrom on Tracer once again. And we have an auto attack build. Press the advantage on level 1. Okay, this could be pretty cool now. Let's see how far they're getting with this. Because right now we have all the way up at the top still the little rotation going on. What are we grabbing here? Yeah, one tower is already going down, and at the bottom of the map the same is happening. So essentially the two teams are just going for a race. They are racing this. The one difference is that the red team is split with a 2-3. And up here at the top, it's a full 5-man that is currently going for the fort. So they should be a lot faster with this. It depends a bit on what exactly Nagrom can do. But they need to be careful that they're not losing out on any heroes here. Play has to jump out. Dehaka also in real trouble. Bottom fort, I mean, they're still working on the wall, whereas the top fort has also taken some significant damage. The interesting part about this is honestly that, well, this accelerates the game. If you have teams just pushing for forts and going for a bit of a race at the start, this essentially just makes the game a lot faster because structures are getting destroyed much quicker. You have the objective, which is targeting structures directly, going much sooner to other forts and maybe even a keep. Yasuo now getting sniped. Good move. The fan club definitely playing this aggressive. They want to force game number 3. I mean, obviously they're currently sitting in a spot where they're saying, hey, we can't just simply take it like this. We need to now come in, make sure that we are starting to take some heroes down early, take the initiative in the game. The problem still is that the entire idea behind this did backfire a bit. With the blue team responding at the top side with a 5-man push, they are the ones that have gotten way more structural damage out of this compared to what the red team got. And now they have a camp too, so this is an enormous amount of pressure up here. Even with that one kill. Yasuo might be in a bit of trouble. Great Stormbolt against Nagrom, but he should still be able to get out of this. Unless Kharazim is able to get enough damage in, and it's not the case. But they gotta fall back here, and the topside fort has taken a lot. So, blue team jumping back out again. I can really appreciate the way that the red team is trying to play this right now. It might not have worked 100% according to plan just yet, but they got a couple of opportunities now for sure to take control of this. And again, it's the attitude, honestly, that I'm more so interested in than anything else. They're not just sitting here in game number 2 and they're like, oh, play it careful. Let's try to make no mistakes and hope that we are going to win this year. No, they're trying to come out of the gate swinging. They're making some decisive moves, trying to push their playstyle onto the blue team. And this is essentially what I think they have to do here. We got the Master Assassin as the level 4 choice for Tigers. First objective is, of course, popping up in a moment. Red team still has to make a few moves and try to get more kills in. They're already busy in the middle of the map aiming for Yasuo again, which didn't really work out. There's Siege Giants also at the bot lane that they will have to deal with soon. So yes, the blue team, the Space Goofs, they're doing a fantastic job just putting pressure on all these lanes right now. Those Siege Giants, they need to be dealt with. The Haka very likely at some point has to make a move here or it's going to be a disaster for them. And the control at the top, Temple is allowing the blue team now to take the first fort out and damaging the second one. But here's that kill that we've been waiting for. Nice. Tychus is gone. Yeah, Karazim is still taking the temple at the top, so they were playing this without a support. And down at the bottom of the map, with one tower already gone, they need to send Jaina down, which they are currently doing, so that this is not going to get too much damage. Because Jean Lassalle comes in, but the gate is gone, and the fort in the middle has taken damage as well, thanks to all these shots being fired. In the middle of the map, there it's a bit of a different story though. With Nagrom holding control of that temple over and over again, it's going to be a fort that gets destroyed in the mid lane, so at least they were able to pull something off here. Nagrom is even able to get out of the fight though. 2 kills to 0, and maybe even a third one. Tracer falls. Muradin, is he going to be able to get away? Dobby to the rescue, and yep, Tracer gone. Muradin is still alive. Misses the storm ball. Jaina gets blown out of the water. The Haka falls too. Oh boy, this turned quickly against the fan club. That's 4 heroes down, and the mid lane fort is wide open. Not only do they try to go for Ixia, they actually get him. It's a 5-man wipe, and they take that fort out. Just as it started to look a little bit better for the red team, they are losing the entire team. And they're losing the fort in the middle. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Now, even the Siege Giants are being stolen, which means that the bottom fort is now under attack too. They can go for the final tower. The gap in experience is telling the tale here. It's a 1.5 level lead in favor of the Space Goofs, as they are now making a move for the final fort that is still remaining here. So yeah, definitely tough. Space Goofs, they are strong. These guys are powerful. And by the way, this also gave 5 stacks to Tychus. Now, when you pick Master Assassin, you're not really picking it to try and complete the quest. That is a bit of a secondary one. If you can pull that off, it's great, but normally that's not the case. You're picking it for the passive. You're picking it for the synergy with Odin on the passive. But hey, if this is a high kill game, maybe we can even see him complete it. So they are fighting for the camp up here, and it's a full invade. With level 10 abilities, they should be getting it, and they do. The only question is if they can pick up some kills together with that. Malgania jumps out, and that borrow charge was absolutely perfect. Dodged the tether too. I don't think that Jaina is going to be that lucky, even with the Stormbolt being... Anduin. Always keep forgetting about Anduin. That little fucker. Saving Jaina from sure death, and the blue team was definitely getting a bit annoyed there. I was like, really? Then again, if Muradin hits that Stormbolt, Anduin is a bit too far away, and I think in that case, Jaina would have fallen. So, temple control down at the bottom of the map in a moment. I'm actually surprised that they're not going for it immediately, but level 10 is ready for the fan club. And I guess they are figuring, hey, once they have level 10, they're going to be super aggressive. We have 2 heroes at the top taking the camp, so let's just play this a little bit slower than we normally would, because the red team will try to force fights here. They have to. Muradin, see, okay, blocks an Uberak, and is then starting the party. As they're going again down towards the bottom of the map. Another tether. Cocoon is already out, quickly burned. Light bomb engage is happening too, and play gets crushed by Muradin. He's gone. They want more, and they might get more. Karazim is low. Nice, good ring. Great follow-up from Jean Lassalle, and that's a double kill for the red team. This is exactly the kind of moves that they need to make if they want to have a chance to bring this one back, start a comeback here, and force the third map of the series. So, with that, another Fort Falls. They take the one at the bot lane out, and structurally, that's actually putting the two teams even. Yep, that little play here with those kills and the shots fired puts them into an even position with the Space Goofs. Maybe there's a little bit of an advantage still, but this is exactly the kind of play that you want to make here. So yeah, job well done. Dehaka at the top gets stopped and disked. And he gets zipped back in, but Hogger dies too. Hogger dies, but so did Dehaka, so yep. Both of them are gone. It's a change in kills. Shots still fired. Whole temple taken. Anubra can now head back. And at the top, yes, a few of these towers have also been eliminated. But this is still a very, very nice comeback play from the team in red. So the fan club, they are still believing. And they get the connect. Seven-sided strike is in, and once more Kharazim gets caught and killed. The follow-up with the Ring of Frost was perfect, and in addition to that they are also dropping Tychus. Ha! Just like that. Camp at the bottom of the map is threatening the fort still, so that's the one good thing going on for the blue team. But that was still a super sexy move here from the Bobby Kotick fan club. And I like how Jaina just uses the opportunity time and time again when Kharazim goes for the seven-sided strike to aim the perfect Ring of Frost straight on him and then locks him down. So these seven-sided follow-ups are not really... Well, the seven-sided in and of itself is of course great if you are the one isolating the target, but as an escape tool to dodge out on some damage, it's just not working because Jaina is dropping the spells immediately, and then Kharazim, when he pops out of the seven-sided, more or less instantly dies. So now we have 7 kills to 6 in favor of the Bobby Kotick fan club. They're going for another light bomb engager, at least they try to over here. Malganir has to jump out. Blue team is obviously trying to wrestle control back from the red team. So far it hasn't really been working, but they are still ahead in experience. And now a double temple is coming up on the map. Could just be a trade, but we still see the aggressive plays. And here's one again, seven-sided strike. Cocoon is out too. Jaina in position on the other side. Now there's the ring. More of a zoning ring, and Meneldor trying to escape and is able to get away as Tracer was trying to give chase but wasn't able to fully lock him down here. So 6 kills, 2-7, still a tiny lead for the blue team in experience, but down at the bottom of the map they are now able to get some shots fired, and they're even taking control of the temple in the middle. So this is about as ideal as it gets for the red team. They're finally getting some double temple control. As long as they don't lose anybody in the process, they're going to be fine, but they're getting some extra shots fired. Dehaka has been able to pull that off down at the bottom of the map. He even gets pressure onto X-Ray. Damn, he gets a lot of damage onto him. Should probably not sit here for too long, but that was well done. 16 is a bit of a concern. Now the temples are starting to fire against keeps, and in the middle, yep, this is already happening. So good for them. Bot side, the wall at least is going to get destroyed, but with level 16 now in the hands of the blue team of the Space Goofs, we get the cleansing touch, and we got the sizzling attacks as they're trying for Mirrodin. Play with Avatar, bit low still. Cocoon is already out as Anubarak is trying to isolate at least Kharazim, and here comes the damage. Ring of Frost and a stun attempt, but only a bit of damage done as Meneldor is coming in with a Order pulled on Hogger. They're trying for Dehaka, and he's in real trouble now. Dehaka trying to get away, but Kharazim has none of it. With all the bald glory that he can muster, he's jumping in and takes down the dinosaur. Now they can go for boss, and that's exactly where they're headed. Level 16 talent advantage used to its fullest extent in that fight. Job well done. Nice action from the blue team as they are trying their best to wrestle control once again. But red team is even contesting this. That is actually kind of surprising. They're trying to contest the boss. This is not happening for them, or is it? Well, boss is taken, and if they now can pick up a couple of kills, it would make matters so much worse for the French team. Malganir's in trouble. Light bomb. Tracer looking for kills. They're all so low, but Tracer falls before X-Ray or Yasu die. Kharazim finally gets dropped, but that's 3 kills to 1. Everybody was so low here. If they could have... Oh, Jesus, it was so close. If Tracer starts picking some of these heroes off and gets the kills, it's a totally different ball game. But now we're talking about the remaining shots in the middle being claimed by Tychus. We're talking a boss at the bottom of the map doing serious damage. And just overall, without any defenders being present, the blue team can really start to snowball this. What a game. So many back and forths here. Muradin now dying. Muradin dead. And the keep at least gets destroyed. So there's that. Keep is gone. Tychus is already working on the top side camp. We have him with 32,000 damage overall in this game now. But yeah, bit of a wild one, honestly, what we're getting here. And even the core could theoretically eat a bit of damage in this. That doesn't quite happen there. Jaina has to defend at the bottom of the map right now, which she is currently doing. Make sure that those siege giants are not getting anywhere. 10 kills to 9. It's close. It's a really close game. So they are just fighting back and forth here the entire time, doing their thing. And, well, as all of this still plays out, we have the blue team with a bit more control of the map, just generally speaking. And they also have mercenary camps on pretty much every single lane. Vision is, on the other hand, being claimed by the red team now. As Dobby is also starting to fall back here. Well, the attacks, they still keep coming, and at the bottom, it is the global that reigns supreme. This is what the Haka is for. Making sure that these side lane pressure plays with siege giants and catapults are not going to end up in the core to take him on. We got Numbing Blast in, obviously Glyph of Fate for Anduin, and the Epic Enter on the side of Anubarak. Single Temple at the bottom of the map popping up next, and the bad news for the fan club is, of course, that they don't have a level 20 talent yet. Now, neither has the blue team, but they're gonna get it for the objective. So, yeah, that's gonna make this one difficult. Red team, unless they get a kill, might have to let that go initially. Disc being dodged, nice. Stormbolt didn't connect either. So from both teams, a few abilities YOLO'd out that did not quite give them what they wanted. And, well, with siege giants... Oh, there's the kill! Yeah, Karazim is getting dropped, and now they can go for Maiev, and all of a sudden this is a whole different game. Because with that double kill, not only do you get the temple at the bottom of the map, you will grab level 20 also more than in time. There's still siege giants at the core that eventually they will have to deal with, but this is looking so much better now for them. This is exactly what you need in that situation. So yeah, Malganir is already moving in. They even want to damage some of the structures, and this is obviously glorious for them. If they can just start taking this out a bit, they not only force the opponent to react, they also open up another kill opportunity, and Tychus is immediately becoming a victim here, so he gets destroyed. Boy, oh boy. That is momentum. That was a really nice play. They're trying for another follow-up with Muradin. They're really attempting to stagger deaths here as the Haka is making his way down to the bottom temple. But one keep is now destroyed. Now, let's not forget that the core of the red team is down to 89%. They were a bit late to defend against those siege giants, and together with catapults, that is definitely a problem. But now they can do damage down here, and just a little bit of damage is already enough, because you will get the shots from the temple too. So if they just do a bit of damage with their heroes, then they can take this one out as well, and they know that perfectly. So they're starting to move back out as the blue team respawns. Disc is getting dodged. There's an attempt to force the fight. It is a 4 versus 4, but the Haka can tunnel in, and that's exactly what he does now. Ice block already on Jaina. Here comes the party. Ring, ding, and dong. They are getting all destroyed as Jaina connects the damage, and that is a triple kill. 3 heroes down, and this is the move for game that we're now seeing from the fan club. Fantastic play there. What another great Ring of Frost from Jaina. They go for the core, and that is game number 3. Great play by the fan. Or is it game number 3? And Nubarak dead? Everybody below? They might not get it here. 70% on the core. And the 2 defenders are pushing them back. Jaina is gone. Jaina is gone. They have 2 heroes defending against 5, and they pull it off. Oh boy, light bombed. And that is the end of Tychus. Tychus is gone. The tongue on X-Ray, and he's gonna fall too. But they defended. They defended. Tracer should get him. But she doesn't. Yeah, okay, there it is. There it is. But they couldn't end the game. Game's not over. But there is still at the bottom of the map the temple that they can take now to annihilate the bottom keep. And that would put them into a better position. Let's also not forget that we at the same time are looking at a situation where the boss is up on the map and could be taken by one of the two teams. But yeah, it is getting wild now towards the end of this game. It's getting really wild. This is getting dodged by Tracer once again. Boss activated and Anduin is getting caught. Even the boss is helping the blue team. And that is a big kill because now they don't have sustain anymore. They just lost their healer. The temple is still up. It's actually getting really weird because now it's all of a sudden the blue team that can go for the temple shots. And that's where they headed. 4 heroes on the map for the red team. 3 for the opponent. It's just getting so crazy. Hogger is gone. Hogger gets destroyed. They're trying for Muradin and they drop him as well. The last 4 minutes or so have just been one crazy fight after another. Now they're trying to go for the boss, as it seems. The temple still hasn't been taken. It will eliminate the bottom key, but they're not going for it. They're just looking for follow-up kills. 7-sided strike, and Jaina is gone again. Jaina is gone. So is the Haka, and they're going for Nubarak. Why so greedy? Just take the bottom temple. Just take the keep and play it from there. Now it's Maiev that gets murdered. Nagrom is not giving up on this game. Nagrom is not giving up. He's like, I will hold on. I will claw my way to victory, and if it's the last thing that I do. 14 stacks, by the way, for Tychus. He's getting closer and closer to actually completing his Master Assassin quest on level 4, which is just bananas. But it's ridiculous to me how nobody wants to have this bottom temple. Is finally someone moving in to get those shots? Siege Giants will travel across the lane, and yes, Tracer is now making the play so that they can finally take out that bottom keep. Bottom keep is going to get destroyed, but this game is absolutely ridiculous at this point. I mean, it seriously is. So yes, bottom temple is obliterated. Tracer is moving back. They're going for the next camp at the top. It's just nuts to me how many times teams were now trying to end the game, to try and get some follow-up kills quickly so that they can get an easy win. And now it comes down very likely to the boss and who claims it. The blue team is already starting it up here. And of course, they're being stopped. Is Sky Temple once again coming down to a boss push? 71,000 damage for Tracer, 60,000 for Tychus. The Hark at the top, they still have the global. Cocoon has been utilized once more. And they get the stuns out. Disc is missing. Honestly, Dobby hasn't hit a disc in ages. He got drunk after he got his sock, and you can really tell. He just celebrated a little bit too heavily. He is looking cross-eyed or something in these fights because those discs are just not going anywhere. So now Dehaka is trying to apply pressure topside, but has to move back. Going boss is a risk now, and both teams know it. Both teams are fully aware of that. If you go for the boss now, you can... I mean, honestly, it's better for the blue team. Blue team has to throw a Hail Mary eventually because there are 2 keeps down already. Ring and ding dong. Bye-bye, Maiev. Quest completed for Tychus. Tracer is gone. That was the main damage dealer for the red team, so all of a sudden there's an opportunity. And here comes the no control from Hogger, but he dies. Ixia trying for the heal. Survives! Actually makes it, and now with the root on Kerosene, they go for a kill. They try and take X-Ray down. Anduin is gone. Jaina is gone. X-Ray gets out of the fight. No way. This series is bonkers. This series is absolutely bonkers. Yasu, Malganir with a cocoon. And Karazim is still alive and kicking and trying to make his own play now. They are all on the chase. Stormbolt attempt. Big stun, big kill. Karazim is gone. This game is glorious. And Nubarak is dead. They go for a kill on Tychus, so he gets obliterated too. It's a kill. There's 1 hero alive for each team. The 2 teams, we're 22 minutes in on Sky Temple, and it is just an all-out bloodbath between them. It's crazy. crazy. Absolutely crazy. Catapults in, temples are slowly being taken, and of course we're just looking at death timers, expecting heroes to come back and try for a bit of a rematch. Murden with the shots fired in the middle, hoping to destroy a keep, which he can't do right now. Tracer gets attacked, Rewind is in, and Nagrom is connecting whatever damage he can in order to push them back off their temple. Dehaka claiming the shots at the top one. That is going to potentially... Actually, not even potentially, it is definitely going to take down the final keep here, as you can tell. But the fight in the middle is also raging on at the same time, because the red team has enough heroes back up on the map to try and threaten the few heroes that are in-game for the Space Goofs. So the Bobby Kotick fan club trying for the double control, and they're going to get it, at least initially. They're going to get double control here for now. That top side keep is definitely going to fall, and now the core gets attacked, which means that with 5 heroes on the map now, there's no other choice for the blue team but to muster up an attack and really go for it. It's 58% on their core, and there's a few shots remaining from the top side. The Haka is now slowly moving back in, and he actually hasn't taken the top side shots. The keep in the middle is now getting destroyed. What a game! And look at that. Triple catapult now as one gets destroyed, and Tracer is trying to push it for the core. Tracer is pushing it for the core, which means that the rest of the team is trying to avoid them from hearthing. This is game. This is game. Nobody's moving back. Oh no, 2 are back. 2 are back. They have to deal with the catapults before they're on the core. 36%. The top shots have still been taken from the temple. Nagrom low. They want him. They might even get him. And he is getting out of the fight. Still the pressure in the middle. They try for Murden. This is such a crazy game. This is such an insane Sky Temple game. 80,000 damage for Tracer and for Tychus. 36 against 89% on the 2 cores. There's nothing standing anymore for the blue team. They have to throw the Hail Mary now. This is always the ending on Sky Temple. If you find yourself in that situation, you have no other choice. You need to go for boss. It's the only chance you have. You know your opponent is going to sniff it out. You're fully aware of it, but it is the only play that you have. You have to just YOLO. And the red team is just going for core. So now they're hearthing, they have the boss, now they gotta defend. If they defend, they win the game. If they don't defend, and I don't think they can, then it's just all over. But it was either this or dire, painful and slow death. Tracer is gone, 20% on the core. Can they get the rest? And Regina are gone, 9%, 5, 3, 2, 1, and it is victory. It is victory for the red team, and we're going to game number 3. GG. Game number 3. Crazy, crazy stuff in the games now in the loser bracket. I mean, that last Zeros is absolutely ridiculous. Such a crazy ending. And again, to be fair to the Space Goofs, it was honestly the only good decision that they could make to go for boss. Anything else, and they just die a slow and painful death. That was the only chance they had. And they nearly did it. They nearly defended. If they defend their core, the boss finishes. We're 24 minutes into the game. Strong enough for sure. Would have taken it out. There were so many ifs and whens there. If, for example, their core wasn't so low already, if they could have negated some of the earlier temple shots, then I think they would have defeated them at the core and then could have ended the game in their favor. But as is, we're heading into game number 3, and I am really happy for it. This series was quite entertaining already. Zarya getting banned, and we have also the Banshee Queen getting eliminated. We're heading into Infernal Shrines as our final map in this best of 3. And the winner is going to move on to the loser bracket final, where they will face off against the Cats, whereas the loser drops out of qualifier number 3 and will take 4th place here. Getting some points, obviously, for the leaderboard to qualify for the playoffs, but yeah, still. We have already Lucio banned out too. And, well, with Infernal Shrines, this is another one of the maps, just saying, where Ixia played Probius. Now he lost. Still, kind of throwing it out there. So, next ban. What do we get before we're heading into our first couple of picks? The fan club gets rid of Junkrat. Yeah. Still surprised that Junkrat didn't make it into the earlier game on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but okay. So, first pick, It's Jojo. They go for Janna. They want to have the position on the shrine. They want to have all the momentum over there, the extra wave clear. And obviously Jojo also insanely difficult to take down in those situations, particularly if she can hold on to her iron skin. But then again, we have Garrosh still up potentially for Malganir. Varian is up. If you want to go for a sniper combo, you can still do that. Some of the heroes that you would normally pair with Varian have already been taken, but still. Yrel and Mephisto. Yeah, Mephisto always super powerful on Infernal Shrines too. I would not mind if one... well, Jojo's already taken. I was thinking at some point that we might get a Vala. But, yeah, a little bit unlikely considering that Jojo's already been taken. Normally when you're going for Vala these days, you're going for Uth as a main tank. You play that double support and then you add her later. With Jojo locked in as a first pick, that's a bit unlikely. But we get D.Va! D.Va and Deckard Cain. Okay. D.Va for Infernal Shrines. Nice. A little bit of zone control. Get that bomb going. Not what I thought would happen here, though. We still have plenty of side laners left, so yeah, D.Va surprises me a little bit. Pretty cool, though. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. Cassia gets banned, so we're not gonna get the Valkyrie. And what do they banning now against Ixia, Malganir, and Jean Lassalle? Do they just target the front line and the tanks? They have already their own, so they can literally just look at the remaining tanks and think what they don't want to deal with. Or are they more worried about Ixia? Yes, they are. They ban Alex Strasser. I don't blame them. I would be too. Ixia, I mean... Keep in mind, what was it, game number 1? When he played Ana, his impact on support is just crazy. That guy is so damn good, it's ridiculous. With Ana, he made so many fantastic plays. Not only the heals, but also the sleep darts that he used to either deny kills or set them up. So, yeah, that he gets banned out a bit, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I talked about Varian earlier as a pick for Malganir. They could have followed it up, I believe, with Stukov. I don't think he was played yet, but they go for White Main. Ixia, he has his own picks there. So we get White Main for them, Varian, Mephisto for potential follow-up there on the damage, and it leaves us with a final pick for them with Jean Lassalle. As on the blue team, we got our double pick. We still need damage. They only have their front line and the heals, but where does the damage come from them now? We get Chromie, and we get Tannis. Alright. Trash Tannis is in their house. Yeah, and let's see what they can do with it. A couple of nice swaps would of course be neat here, but if that's really the proper pick, time will tell. Final choice for the final map. Who's making it? Who's going to the loser bracket final? What's the final pick for the fan club? They still need a bit more damage. Mephisto is nice, but you need to be a bit more oomphy here. Deathwing, nice. Deathwing is our final pick for Infernal Shrines. Guys, let's get ready. It is the third map in the best of 3 series here, and it will decide which team moves on to the loser bracket final, the Bobby Kotick fan club or the Space Goofs. Game number 3, we got the Space Goofs on the left in blue with X-Ray on Deckard Cain, Meldor on D.Va, we got Dobby on Chromie, Play on Joanna, and Yasu on Tannis. On the right side of the map, the Bobby Kotick fan club with Virtual on Yrel, we got Malganir on Varian, Ixia on White Main, Jean Lassalle on Deathwing, and Nagrom on Mephisto. As we're heading into the game, I also want to give a quick shout out, by the way, to everybody supporting the stream and the channel over on patreon.com/Khaldor. Once again, guys, thank you very much. Heroes still super niche game, and without the support there, yeah, it wouldn't be possible to just like cast the game and host all of these tournaments, make all of that happen. If you're interested in supporting the stream and the channel, then you can check that out, patreon.com/Khaldor. The link is also in the description if you want to have a look. It's also one of the reasons why I'm, for example, in a position where I can put up the spoiler protection on YouTube, things like that. Without it, it just wouldn't be a thing. Because, again, spoiler protection hurting the algorithm on YouTube quite a lot. So yeah, big shout out to all of the Patreons. Very much appreciate the support over there. So yeah, thanks to all of you. Tannis with stacks in game number 3 here, with Protector of Aya coming in. I wish that would be a little bit stronger. Just a tiny little bit. It's kind of an interesting talent, and in the late game it can do some work, but I feel if it was just a few percentage points stronger, it would be making Artanis a much more viable hero than he currently is. Malganir gets murdered in the early game, pulling a bit of a lauber there as he dies at the 1 minute mark, so that's first blood for the Space Goofs. In the meantime, we have Urel starting to rotate towards the top to deal with Menaldor, and it is a D.Va in the house. Yasuo is already starting to also go for the camps here, so he's starting to take this one on, whereas the rest of the team is kind of shielding him here, making sure that nobody is coming over. But I mean, both teams are going for the mercenary camps at this point. Yeah, the last game was pretty rough. Everybody was just like trying to somehow end this, and the fan club, they fought hard in order to go to game number 3. So kudos to them for sticking it out on the last map the way that they did. That was definitely not an easy feat. But now they have an opportunity to make it into the next match to qualify for the losers bracket final and maybe even go all the way to the grand final. Now, of course, the Space Goofs are hoping to do the exact same thing, but time will tell which team is going to prevail here, as we have level 4 talents kicking in that gives us the potion of shielding. We have Varian, of course, with Taunt, and he's already starting to move in at the bot lane. Could make a play here. He's trying. Play is a bit low, gets body blocked too by Deathwing, and that is the end of Jojo. Jojo gets taken out. Skull Missile build continues from Mephisto in the meantime. And we also have Urel with the Hand of Freedom. So, the American Space Goat is in the house. We got Martyrdom for Whitemane, and the first shrine is now slowly starting up on the map. Teams will possibly go for their camp. So far, we have actually nobody seen any moves towards any of the 2 Shaman camps. Instead, it's just an all-out battle for the shrine, I suppose, for the Punisher. Yeah, Varian with another quick taunt here. That's initial damage, and also an Iron Skin that they can force out. It's always a cooldown trade victory for Varian here. So that was actually kind of neat. Play needs to be a bit more careful. Iron Skin will likely come back up during the fight at some point, but at least for the beginning, he needs to be a lot more careful. And it opens up some additional options for Malganir and the fan club. So they're starting to go in on this. Chromie isn't here though. This is a 5 versus 4 now. And with Chromie missing, oh yes, Yasuo gets body blocked and Trash Tannis is getting dropped. Yep, nicely done by Deathwing in particular. Obviously, he can easily block that path, and that's what he did. So now we have the lead on the objective, also a 5 versus 4 on the map for them. Even with an early level 7, the red team now pushing ahead as the blue team realize that they won't be able to play for the first Punisher. So what they're doing instead is move down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to get some structural damage in over here. Not really enough to make a massive difference, particularly with Deathwing showing up quite quickly and shutting this down as best as he can. But again, gives some options to them. Another little play being made now in the middle as they're going in with another taunt, and Play is in trouble, in real trouble. Gets the Iron Skin back just in time, or this could have been a problem, but he's able to make it. So with 35 stacks towards the objective, we have the red team collapsing onto the top now, trying to get the first Punisher. And to make matters worse for the blue team, it's actually a frozen Punisher. So this is the strongest one out of the bunch. I would have expected them to... yeah, okay, there comes the rest of the team, the exception of Deathwing. Was just about to say, would have surprised me if they didn't push with this. They wanted to steal the camp away too, but can't. Chromie already with their ult, but there's the intercession from Whitemane. D.Va is coming in too, could create some space, but at the top, the fort is already losing a few hit points and the wall has more or less been destroyed. It's a bit of a weird battle they're fighting. They're a bit off to the side there. Not really pushing with the Punisher itself, leaving a lot of space and time for Chromie to defend properly, which is exactly what she's doing. They're trying to go for D.Va and drop her out of the mech. Taunt is ready in another 15. Was just used a moment ago. X-ray low, and Artanis gets trashed again. Artanis does what he does best. He's dying once again, and that is now 3 kills to 1, a half level lead. An early level 10 will be the reward for the fan club. Yeah, I gotta give it to them. The Space Goofs in game number 1 and 2 of the Spider Queen looked absolutely dominant. They played a spectacular game, but now it seems that the fan club has built up a lot more momentum and is really thriving. If they are able to do more here, then great for them. Level 10, for example, could now easily be used to break through some of these walls, maybe just take a few of the camps away. They're busy in the middle of this right now. Level 10 up for them, but blue team is getting close to it as well. We've seen so many examples right now where even the smallest window can give you a huge advantage. If you have level 10, you can force the fight properly, but they're not in a position where they can actually do that now. So Malganir has to move back down at the bot lane. They are at least burning a part of the tower to a crisp with Deathwing and doing their thing. But as it stands, yeah, they have a small lead, they're extending it slightly in experience, but they couldn't do anything with their heroic abilities. There was no big setup that they could use to try and get a kill, try and take a fort down, try and drop a wall. But they haven't even taken the camp down here, and this might now backfire because both teams have heroics, and this is an immediate trigger for the Space Goofs to come in, take White Mane down, and Ixia is always a staple and a pillar for the team, but both teams lose their support, and Trash Tannis is dead again. Tannis is gone. What else is new? Well, they lost Jana on top of that, so that is now 6 kills to 2, and the Bobby Kotick fan club is still in the driver's seat. Initially, it was White Mane that fell, but now we got 3 counter kills, and they are pulling farther and farther ahead in experience. It's an entire level lead now that they have to follow, and yeah, it's not going to be too easy. Fan club is doing well. They are doing so much better here now than they did in any of the previous 2 games. So at this point in time, we have also on stacks, Artanis is now sitting at 123. When you're looking at the damage numbers, it's 18,000 for damage. He's actually top damage on the blue team. It's ridiculous. More damage than Chromie. Chromie, what's going on over there? I mean, she is... I mean, that's an F. That's an F for effort right there. 27,000 from Deathwing is what we're getting. And yeah, 19,000 for Mephisto. So Trash Tannis, he's trading deaths for damage. That's what he's doing. That's essentially what's going on here. Level 13 talents are already starting to kick in. The next shrine is obviously activating, and the timing couldn't have been better for the fan club. Artanis, oh, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. This time he actually gets out. But with the talent advantage for the red team, I think they're going to lock in another Punisher here. Specifically, since topside is now also getting pushed by a Shaman camp that the red team has claimed, so the blue team will have to react on multiple lanes at the bottom of the map. D.Va is using the space that she is given to take some of the towers out and push this in. But right now, we got, yeah... Topside defended, in the middle, 22-2 stacks. They're trying for a kill. Yazoo, and he is making it out of the fight. Tried for a quick swap here. They wanted to follow up also with Chromie, but they just can't do enough here just yet. 29 stacks now. They're going to get more, but somebody has to deal with D.Va. D.Va is left alone at the bot lane completely to her own devices, and she's using all of that time to take that fort down slowly and steadily. As long as Menaldor gets away from this, I mean, we'll see. He's trying. Where's that taunt when you need it? 10 seconds, but already slows are connecting. Menaldor on the run, and there it is. We get the mech back to business, and that allows D.Va to escape. Punisher in the mid lane has indeed been claimed by the Space Goofs. And they're losing X-Ray. Deckard Cain goes down quickly, tries to waddle out of the fight, and that didn't work. So now we have 7 kills to 2 in favor of the red team, and they're doing it here. Artanis still top damage for the red team, but that just once again underlines how Chromie is struggling to get good damage out here. It's just not really the setup that she needs. They need to tee that up for her with a couple of good stuns, but there's not a lot of CC for the team. Deckard Cain can, of course, contribute a bit, and then on top of that you have the Blessed Shield, but generally speaking, the blue team is struggling. Their game just doesn't run smoothly right now. Doesn't come together. The draft doesn't. So now it's half a level, a bit more until 16 hits for the fan club. They've taken 1 fort out, the first one in this series. And while they are claiming, or trying to claim, the next camp at the bottom of the map, at least Varian gets attacked. Maybe that's the opportunity to get a kill. Malganir is back in, and And that's a kill on Deathwing. Some sexy play here, actually. I'm going to go back in that in a moment, because for now there's another kill as Whitemane goes down, and bye-bye. That is the end of Varian. Nagrom also in trouble. He makes it out with 50 HP though, or does he? Oh, he barely dodged that cube. But yeah, nicely done. Well played, and just like check that fight out. So first we have to talk about one thing. Fantastic ult choice, and I'm not gonna say that often, for Artanis. So what did Artanis do? Artanis actually went beam. Artanis went full beam on this one. And normally I meme this pick a lot. I mean, again, the secret counter to beam, you know what that is? Walk away. Just walk away from it. And there's, of course, a couple of Wood League players that are immediately going to come in. Oh, but Khaldor, when you're running away, you cannot actually do damage. So it's essentially eliminating a hero from the fight. So yeah, that's a joke and a half, because if you're actually a player that has surpassed Wood League, then what you're going to do, you're just stutter stepping around it, and you're easily going to weave the damage in anyways. But yes, as much as I like to meme the beam, in this case, it's pretty cool. Why? Because they're up against Deathwing. And Deathwing has a much harder time dodging it. So he has a huge hitbox, he's a slow boy, he's a big boy, and you can get a lot more value out of it. Remember how at some point I've been talking about NA a couple of years back actually using Junkrat with Rocket Ride as a counter to Deathwing? Or not a counter, but like a tool to use against him, simply because he cannot dodge the Rocket Ride? It's the same principle here. You're getting a lot with it. So, yeah, you are getting nice damage out of this. If you drop it on Deathwing, that's a whole different story. So it's actually going to be curious to see how this continues as the game moves into the late game. Here comes the kill on Jojo. Well, I can tell you that if they are ending up losing their main tank this quickly in a situation like this, then it's not going to end well for them. Now Deckard Cain gets burned down again. Yeah, the old man goes down about as quickly as Joe Biden a flight of stairs. And topside, now we got Virtual defending. I mean, it's a bit of a back and forth still. In experience, they're still on eye level, more or less. But with the kill count, the kills are always coming in before the next objective drops. And that is just an absolute disaster for the Space Goofs. But for the fan club, this is glorious. They're doing fantastic with this. So now we got 10 kills to 6. We have Yrel attacked at the top. They really want her here. And Yasuo is attacking time and time again. They're slowing her down too. And what do you know? Yrel actually gets killed. Nice. Job well done. Now in the middle of the map, or sorry, down at the bottom, we have the shrine now up. They get Cain back, and with the old man entering the frame again, there's a chance to take control of the shrine now and do your thing. So let's see what they can do with that. Already Artanis coming in from the side. Yeah, they're starting for a couple of swaps here. They go for Deathwing. Where's that beam when you need it? Gonna drop it in a moment, I suppose. And yes, Deathwing, look. Deathwing is rushing away from it, but he's having trouble. Deathwing gets killed once again. Now they're making a move for Malganir. He gets zipped in. Nope, because intercession is still a thing. But with Deckard Cain getting dropped again, Artanis follows closely after. So even with the kills that they got here, they're losing a 5 versus 3 essentially is what just happened. Ridiculous. Nagrom with the damage on Mephisto. He's sitting at 66,000 right now. Chromia is taken over finally, but she's still not able to get them the kills when they need them. 14 kills, 2-8. Yes, Diva is playing a bit of a role there too. Menaldor gets murdered, and this is nearly level 20 now for the red team. They have so much momentum in this. It is just crazy. They got better from game to game. Struggling on Tomb of the Spider Queen in game number 1, then really turning it around when they were playing on map number 2, when they were playing on Sky Temple. And now in game number 3, it looks more and more like they're going to be the ones to just turn the entire thing fully around, claim victory in the best of 3 series, and move on to the loser bracket final. We're not there yet, but they're looking strong. They're really looking strong here. And the Arcane Punisher is not only going to destroy the fort at the bottom of the map, as they're now taking the camp down here, they might have a chance to go for the keep. So something needs to be done. Maybe Artanis is going to get his shit together and starts to murder a few people. He's on 4 deaths. Same for Jojo. And they want to make it 5. They go for Yasuo. The flank is coming. Yasuo gets hit by Whitemane, rooted in the ground, and goodbye. He does what he does best. He's dying again. Artanis is gone. Nice rotation, though, from the fan club. I gotta give them that. They abandoned the Punisher at the bot lane a little bit for this one. But this was still well done. They saw him a bit too far out. It's something that Artanis didn't really think would happen. They were trying to get the level 20, which they now have, but it's a 4 versus 5 that they have to play because of it. So, yeah. That bottom 4 is still in trouble, even with the Punisher defeated. But off we go. Artanis hasn't made a move yet, hasn't made a choice. They're starting to come in, looking for kills. 29 seconds until Artanis is back. And he has now gone into the Zealot charge as they're going for Mephisto. If they can take Nagrom out, that would be a big step towards a proper defense here. But instead, Chromie may be in trouble here. And is she gonna die? Yep. Chromie is gone.
And we say bye-bye.
We're not gonna see her anytime soon. 16 kills to 8. And now, of course, they're going to destroy the keep itself. And with those staggered deaths, they might even move towards the core. Artanis is back. Chromie is down. Essentially, you're still playing a 4 versus 5. You gotta try and defend. But, yeah. Another flip, another move, play in trouble, but he gets out. And here comes the laser. Brrr. And Ixias found the secret counter. He's walking away from it and can still drop the heals in the root. No effect. Yasuo, he came, he saw, he died again. Veni, Vidi, BG. 17 kills to 8. Yep, it's gonna be all she wrote, I think. It's looking better by the second for the fan club. They have a 5 versus 3 now. Chromie will be back in a moment, but the defense is struggling. It really is. And there's another kill coming in. Jojo is being put to the wall and executed. Urel taking her out, and the fan club is just farming them. They are absolutely farming them. Deckard Cain is stumbling around. Stay quiet, listen, where's my pudding? And he gets murdered. So, yeah, that's gonna be it. Chromie goes down, that leaves only D.Va. She's going to be eliminated too. Menaldor is trying to boost out, so he might survive, but the team definitely won't. The fan club, big comeback, huge comeback in this series. And of course, sadly, the end of the road for the Space Goofs, but a fantastic performance by the red team as they lock in the W on Infernal Shrines. They make it happen and take the 2-1 victory over their opponents and move on to the loser bracket final to face off against the Cats. GG.